Sometimes it's good to take a look at what's going on from, I don't know, a 30,000 foot level. I have a guest with me today. He might say, hey, with me, it's a 10,000 foot level.
That's
I'm just
true.
kidding. That just came to me. I had to say the joke, man. It just came to me. Anyway, yeah, from a 30,000 foot level, let's look at what's going on from a high view and talk to someone who's, working to get a message to several originators and have them thrive in this market and what's to come. That's what we're going to talk about here today on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Garay. We're brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals, and at his expense, I punned him this morning because we're friends and we could do that with each other. Just so you know, I have with me Kevin Broughton. He's an executive vice president from Success Mortgage Partners. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing great, my friend. Thanks so much for allowing me to come on with you today. I appreciate it.
You know it, my friend. Absolutely. Hey, I'm glad I got you here because this market and what we're heading into can be different for a lot of different people in this space based on, how they operate in the space. For example, you're an executive vice president of a notable mortgage banker, right? Other people are loan officers in the business for 6 months, right? So we all have our perspective on how we navigate what's going on now and how we navigate going into the future. And so I thought it would be great to get with you, Kevin, on this podcast let's talk about it from the 30,000 foot view, right? Like, I'm curious on your end, and I'm sure this would be very helpful for any other, regional managers out there, other EVPs out there, individuals that are running mortgage organizations, from the executive level, how do you, first of all, to just open with this, where do you see the market going? I'm curious what your opinion is on that, like through the rest of the year and into the beginning of 2024.
I'm cautiously optimistic, Frank. I believe that we're going to see rates level off somewhere prior to the summer hitting. And so I do believe that they're going to come down a little bit. I know that obviously they came down a bit a week ago and then jumped back up a bit. And so I do think they're going to settle. I believe it'll be somewhere in that mid 5 range to upper 5 range, hopefully by within the next 90 days or so. But I'm cautiously optimistic that the market itself is going to correct and it's going to settle and it's going to produce a little bit of stability for decision making. Because I think what you started to allude to from a 30,000 foot view, and obviously you're right, many people tuning into this will have such different perspectives on the industry due to their length of time or their position within the industry. And I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but I get to see all sides of the industry. And so when you look at just the facts, if you just go back 24 months ago, most mortgage companies in America had such a plethora of inbound volume, they couldn't keep up, right? They had a fulfillment issue. And so they were hiring at record levels. Just even our organization, which is a decent sized organization, but not a behemoth, we hired hundreds of people in 1 year. And that's great, but it's also comes with a cost, right? Because when January-ish of 2022 hit, I think a lot of people in this country sat up, even though those of us who knew that this was a government-induced, punch bowl going on, and the ladle was going to be removed from the punch bowl at some day. Yeah. On the day it happened, all of a sudden you saw rates begin to escalate at epic proportion at the highest rate ratio increase in the history of the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
In the
like
shortest
2.7.
Yeah, right. And what that does to an organization, regardless of its size, whether you're the mom and pop on the corner, if you're Wells Fargo, if you had staffed up to do a certain amount of volume and fulfill a certain amount of orders, and then you wake up one morning and those orders are cut in half, coupled with the fact that the actual sold mortgage is worth significantly less dollars today than it was a year and a half ago, you have a double-edged sword problem. You have much lower volume and far fewer dollars in revenue per closed loan. And that's a crushing reality to many organizations. So every organization in the country, I've yet to meet one that hasn't had to do this, had to adapt, and they had to make cuts, and they had to get more out of less. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's hard on the sales side to understand that, because you just want great service.
Right.
And you want level 10 service. And if you were used to having maybe 2 people helping you, now you only have 1, that changes your reality out in the field every day, correct?
Yeah.
And so that's some of the struggles that most organizations, if not every organization in the country, have been through. The good leaders, the great leaders in our industry have found out a way to do that, and still maintain a level of professionalism and a level of service that is acceptable to the client and the loan originator. And those are the companies that are thriving. Thankfully, we're in that boat. And then others just weren't able to do that, and they weren't able to do it fast enough, and they couldn't make big time decisions that are tough to make in a fast fashion. And you've seen a large number of shuttered companies, or companies that quote unquote merged in with someone else or were acquired, but they were acquired for no dollars,
Right.
And you're going to continue to see that trend as the secondary market continues to have basically a cap on what the value of a closed-end mortgage is worth.
So let's go here then. So now this has occurred. You've adjusted, right?
Yeah.
We've made our adjustments. You guys, we know you're in good shape, right? We're doing good. We adjusted well. We adjusted timely, and we have a good fundamental ecosystem in place, right? We've got our infrastructure is good. We're sound. We're still originating, closing loans. Take me now, and you're seeing rates stabilizing somewhere in the mid 5s. You're not the only one who shares that opinion. Many other bright minds like yours in the industry share that opinion as well. Stabilizing around 5.5, maybe by the middle of the year, something like that. All right, somewhere in the 5.5-ish range, something like that. Let's move over to now from your perspective of, okay, now how do I lead my people in this, right? How do I lead my people in today's market, and how am I leading them properly to be well positioned in tomorrow's market? So is that a fair question? Can you kind of elaborate? How do you lead them today, and how are you preparing yourself for what you think is coming? Yeah.
Totally fair, because I do it every day. And so it's kind of right in my wheelhouse. And I don't pretend to be the smartest guy at all. I didn't go to Harvard. I'm just a regular grinder that got lucky that I kind of outworked a whole lot of folks, and that's fun. But in my world, if you look on the sales side, I think it's a relatively simple equation, but it's not always easy. You know what I mean by that? Is that he or she that plants the most seeds today, I guarantee you will reap the biggest harvest in 90 to 120 days, right? And if you look, I just saw a stat, Frank, I don't know the source of it, so I can't make sure. I don't know it's 100% legit, but I was recently told that 1 in 6, or 16.7% of every licensed loan originator in the country did not renew their license in 2023. I think that's actually a huge opportunity. The MBA is projecting that the purchase market's going to stay exceptionally strong, probably the second or third best year in the history of recorded time for closed loan purchases volumes for this year. So that's something to be excited about. If there are fewer people doing those purchases, that's a great opportunity for everyone on this call that's in sales, right? But the question is, what are you doing today? What are you doing in February to prepare for a potential spring market? Most markets in the country last year, the spring market that we all have talked about for decades never came at all. There was no spring market. I'm starting to feel I have a tremendous number of success stories that we've been privy to, and thankfully a lot of them from people at my company, that the market is starting to heat up in many markets across the country, and the level of activity we're seeing is growing by the day, which is kind of fun. But to get directly to your answer, and I wish I had some magic potion or some magic wand I could wave and have everyone be great in June. I don't. What I do know is that he or she that cultivates the highest level of relationships that go deep and not just wide. It's good to go wide, but it's good to go deep too, is the one that's going to win. Because in this country, whether anyone likes to admit it or not, and all the technology in the world, we have all the technology in the world. I love technology, but at the end of the day, most folks in America do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Right.
It's just a fact. For most people that are buying a home, it's one of the 3 biggest decisions they ever make in their life. And they want to do that with someone that they know, like, and trust. So our job as loan originators is to be constantly, continuously, and daily, if not hourly, bringing value to our referral partners. We must be doing it. We must be making dents in the areas that we can. We must be out there. We can't sit behind our desk all day, every day, and pray to the Lord that the phone might ring. That is not the solution. We can't live on a drug called opium. We have to go out there and make it happen. You know,
I like it.
We have to create a referable experience for the borrower and the referral source when we do get the deals. We have to have every single person tied to the outcome go back to their places of work and their places of worship and their friend groups and say, oh my God, I just had an experience. I borrowed money from this guy and it was unbelievable. And we can do that. If you don't have the best people helping you on your teams and all that, there's never been more displaced great mortgage workers in the country than there is today. Upgrade your team. If you don't have a daily success plan where you are guaranteeing that you make X number of calls, have X number of conversations, and create X number of impacts a day, people are out there that can help you do that. And what I see in the message I'm trying to get to my folks every single day is simple. It's be full contact, be in your face, be out there. Do not be a secret agent. Get out in the marketplace and make a difference. Make a difference in your community. Do more events, do more lunch and learns, do all the things that tie you to another individual where you can start to build a deep relationship, because that's going to be why and when people refer to you, is when they feel a deep connection. Does that make sense?
It does. And my question was too, like, how do you lead them through this market and lead them properly to do well in what's coming? And it's the same answer. I understand what you're saying. It's like, this is what we do in this market and the next market and the next market and the next market. This is what we do. And yeah, I love that. I love that. Let me ask you this from an EVP standpoint,
right?
Clearly you've got what I believe to be the right vision, right? The right vision for how we deal with not only this market, but every single market going forward. And let's pray we don't, have another refi boom come and we lose all of our,
Correct.
all the good habits that we develop through these normal markets. But my question for you is, that's a wonderful, wonderful vision, a wonderful, wonderful message. And it is real and it's true and it's honest and it will work and it does work. How do you as an EVP and how does your company keep this fresh in the minds of your loan officers? How do they,
two ways. We do it.
You get what I'm saying, man? Like, how do that, I hear the vision, I see the vision, I hear the message, I'm in, man, I am in, and every day I'm in, how do you, because I think there's a lot of people in your position who struggle with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like telling people, man, just go do this. Well, how do you convey that message? How often do you convey that message? How do you convey that message? You know what I mean? So how do you guys do it?
It's a great question. How we do it is, one little thing. It's a tiny thing, but it's had a lot of impact. We do this thing called Together Tuesdays, and it's every single Tuesday. We never miss. We never start a minute late. We never end a minute late. And all we do on that half hour is share experience, strengths, and hopes that we've had in the marketplace, wins, losses.
The whole company. We all get together. All the originators.
It's voluntary, but we have tremendous attendance. The attendance is just as high today as it is when we started it about a year ago. And so we do it every single week. Our attendance is stellar. And every single person tells me it brings value. And just hearing a little idea from some lady in Pennsylvania, and a guy in Dallas is hearing that, and then a gal in Oregon's hearing this, and a guy in Florida is hearing that, and it helps. And so we do that every single week. Again, it's voluntary, but really, that's just one example. I think the truthful answer to your question is we try every single day to pour into our loan originators at the highest level available in the country. And we do that through taking every resource that we have and making it easy for them to use. Because I have a belief system, Frank, on something around the three words of clarity, focus, and execution. And I think any mission can be obtained if you have those three things. And so if you think about clarity for a minute, most loan officers in the country do not have a crystal clear plan as to what their goals are for this year or any
Agreed.
Frame. They just
totally agree. Yeah.
So it starts with clarity, because without clarity, it's the old adage, you've heard this 100 times, but if I wanted to drive to LA today from Michigan, if I didn't have a map, the odds of me getting there in a timely fashion are almost zero, right?
Right.
So clarity, I think, is important. But then once you're clear, you need to be able to focus. And what I've witnessed a ton is that many straight commission salespeople spend far too few hours doing high leverage activities and far too many hours doing low leverage activities. And that script needs to be flipped. If you want to make it in today's market, you must be crystal clear on your mission and your path and on what your high leverage activities are. And then you must be able to focus where you can do those tasks for somewhere between 2 and 8 hours a day, depending on how much you want to make. And then the third thing is execution. And I think it's great leaders' jobs to remove obstacles, to identify blind spots, and to clear a path for great salespeople to execute at the highest level. And that's what I try to do every day. I'm not perfect at it by any stretch of the imagination, but we try as a collective group to remove obstacles, identify blind spots, and create clear paths to success for loan originators who are clear on their mission and focused on their efforts. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Let's do this. First of all, and I love clarity, focus, execution. I was just making some notes there myself. I know the clarity thing, and I would say even, have a vision. What's your vision? What's your vision statement? What are we clearly doing? What are we about? That does get missed a ton. Like you said, probably 99% of originators out there don't have a vision statement or clarity at all, right? They're
Can I give
just
you an
like,
example? Can I just give you a quick example?
Yeah, please.
So I hate the word busy, and we've removed the word from our vocabulary here at our company. We don't use it. We only use the word productive or non-productive.
Wow. I love it.
Because busy, I'll take 2 hours of productive over 10 hours of busy any day. And I think busy is a crutch. I hear loan originators tell me every day how busy they are. And I always flip that into how productive is the time, because we can get so caught up in low leverage activities that create busyness, and we don't spend enough time on high leverage activities that create productivity. And so, I know this sounds kind of out there and a little weird, but every single day on my calendar is time blocked for 30 minutes where I can only think. I'm not allowed to answer a phone. I'm not allowed to check a text message. I'm not allowed to read or send an email, nothing. I can only think. How many people have 30 minutes blocked on their day every single day where the only allowable task is thinking? Not enough.
Dude, I love that. I'm going to do that.
Well, it helps raise your strategic IQ, because unfortunately, there's tactical things you can do every day, and there's strategic things you can do every day, right? And what I see is a ton of folks doing a ton of tactical things. And I'm not saying we don't have to do tactical things every day. We all must do that. That's calls, right, appointments, things like that. But the strategic things of planning and of doing strategic tasks that lead to a future result, I think are missed a lot. So at our company, we try to pour every dollar and resource we have into helping our loan originators think more strategically about their clear mission. Does that make sense?
It does. Dude, it's so good. This is like one of my funnest podcasts ever, Kevin. It's like, make a note of that. Better write that down. I love, hey, I'm busy. No. Are you productive or non-productive? We take busy out of the equation, right? That is just absolutely fantastic. Don't come to me saying you're so busy. Come to me saying I'm so productive, or I'm so non-productive.
I'm so non-productive. We
have a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's fix that.
That's fixable.
Yeah. That's fixable. But to have that understanding that busy, and I think I heard Steve Kyle say this, and I don't know if he quoted or who quoted, but busy is the poison of success.
Yeah. I didn't know who said it either, but I love that sentence, because it's true. And it's just a crutch, unfortunately. And I, for one, have just tried. And again, I don't do this anywhere near perfectly at all, not even close. But I've tried very, very hard to be way more strategic. And it's really paid some dividends, like measurable dividends, that I can absolutely attain a certain result of success to because of strategic thinking.
I would just say this, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you. It's like, we do our best, and this is another Steve Kyle's quote. You got to admit, he comes up with a good one once in a while. Right?
The guy's
but he came up with something like, what is it? It's progress. Focus on progress over perfection.
Yeah.
Right. Progress over perfection. As long as we're making progress, we're moving closer and closer to the perfection. But as long as we stay focused on the progress, we'll be okay. We're doing good.
Without a doubt. And as you know, a ton of people are perfectionists, and they wait and they wait and they wait.
Right.
And sometimes perfect is the enemy of good, and I don't know. I've tried a whole lot of things, and some of them haven't really worked out that good, but some of them have hit home runs. And so, I've tried a lot. And I think, you've heard this for years and years, but We got to do stuff, man. We just got to go out and do things that make a difference. This sounds crazy, but I was talking to a loan originator yesterday, matter of fact, and she found 6 reusable Starbucks cups in her office closet. And she got them filled up. She took them to 6 realtors. She put a note on the thing. I forget, it was some corny note, but it was a cute little saying or something about Valentine's Day coming up or something. All 6 she didn't know any of the 6 realtors she gave them to. All 6 said thank you. 2 of the 6 called her back that day. And 2 of those 6 that called her asked if she could have a cup of coffee with them. 2 realtors.
Nice.
Over bringing 6 cups that were going to get thrown in the garbage can to 6 realtors she didn't know. She did something yesterday morning. And she called me in the afternoon all giddy about the result because 2 realtors asked her to coffee. That's my point. We're in a full contact sport, man. We cannot sit around and pray to the Lord that something good's going to happen. That's not going to happen.
I love it.
Hopefully something good happens in everyone's life, but activity.
Yes, no, I think we all understand what you mean. Yeah. Listen, man, I'm going to sign off. This has been really, really, really good, Kevin. I think anyone who's listening, I certainly had to get a lot out of this. I know I sure did. This is great. I've got notes galore. Really, really cool. I didn't realize, I would have thought it would have been more than 16% didn't renew. I'm shocked that it's that low. On the licensing.
Might be higher. I don't know. That's what I was told by someone who I trust, but they didn't give me the source. So I don't know.
So who knows? Yeah. I'm curious what the number genuinely is. But anyway, listen, I think a lot of people, I think everyone who listened to this is going to feel like, wow, that was really awesome. That was really, really good stuff. There's probably a bunch of people that, may want to just chat with you about anything in the world. I know that they can do that if they go to growingwithkevin.com. Is it growingwithkevin.com?
It is. My calendar's on there. If anyone wants to grab a 15-minute slot on there, I'd be happy to chat with you about any topic, and I'll try my best to help you have a better life. And
can't ask for more than that, right? Can't ask for more than that. So good stuff. Growingwithkevin.com, guys. If you just want to shoot the breeze with Kevin for a few minutes about anything at all industry related, he's ready and willing and able to just have a conversation with you, which I think you'll get a lot out of. So thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate you being
Frank,
on the podcast.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, my friend. Well, you have a great one, and you all have a great one as well. Just go to growingwithkevin.com to chat with Kevin, and you have a fabulous, fabulous day. And don't forget to visit us as well at loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, where we coach you absolutely free. 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday, completely free, a total blast Zoom call, much like Kevin's Tuesday meeting. What was it, Tuesday or Thursday?
Yeah, Together Tuesdays.
Together Tuesdays, probably a lot like that, where we get together and brainstorm and really go through a lot of good stuff. It's a really fun time. So join us at loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, and then also catch up with Kevin at growingwithkevin.com. Great. All right, Kevin, have a good one. We'll see you later, bro.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, we'll see you all next week here on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast.